All right, we're gonna make that tulip bag that I showed you guys on Facebook. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna draw out your template. Take a screenshot. If you're on your phone, kind of go up above it if you can. Straight up over the top of it. See if you can get a good.
I think I'm too short.
Like that. You should be able to screenshot that right there and you get all your measurements in it, but I'll go over them again for the heck of it. So this part right here is 9 by 5. So that's your little thing, and it's centered. So I have a line in the center so that I know where the center is. Then I have 27 inches side to side, 16 inches from the center to the top, and then I folded it in half, and I went and made that nice curve, and then cut it with scissors. So you're going to use this template, and you're going to cut, oh, let me get my finished bag. You're going to cut one main fabric, one secondary main fabric, and 2 binding fabrics. Not binding. Lining fabrics. And then you're going to cut 3 2.5-inch wide strips for your binding. So 3 strips of binding. If you have a third of a yard of your 2 main fabrics, and then 2/3 of a yard of your lining fabric, and 3 2.5-inch strips. Then you also need 2 pieces of your soft and stable. So all of this is cut to that template. So the very first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take all of this over to the machine. Yep, okay. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the lining fabric, and this is that bottom part that sticks out. This is gonna make the base of the bag, or actually the lining of the base. So I'm gonna sew this together. Like so. Then I'm going to take my 2 pieces of stabilizer, and on one of them I'm going to put one of my main fabrics, so I'll just line these up. If you want to use clips or something, knock yourself out with that. But I'm going to line all of this up. Be easier to do on a flat surface, wouldn't it? We'll go right here. There. Okay. There's that one. Do the same with this one. And you're cutting out these weird shapes with your rotary cutter, so they may not be absolutely perfect, and it does not matter because you can trim down the extra foam after we've done sewing everything together. Okay, we're going to take, this is the one main with the foam on it. This is the other main with the foam on it. We're going to put them right sides together. Kind of line them up. And we're going to sew this seam. And I am actually going to sew a 1/2-inch seam on this. Okay. Okay, so now I have this. This is going to be the front of the bag, or the outside of the bag. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to lay it down, make sure everything's good. And now I'm going to take my lining and I'm going to put it wrong sides together on the piece that I already did. And this I will use my clips on. Hold everything together. And this is a pretty good sized bag, so even if I do trim this down a little bit afterwards, we'll have plenty of stuff to work with. All right, in the middle here, you're gonna open this seam, and you're gonna open this seam, and you're gonna line those two up so your seam lines are on top of one another. Clip that. Same thing on the other side. Line up those seams. And then I'm going to finish clipping this around, and I am going to edge stitch this just to stabilize everything. I will be right back once this is done. All right, so now I have this piece. It's been stay stitched all the way around it, and then I've trimmed down my extra pieces of foam. So it looks like this on one side, my two outside fabrics, and this on the other side, my lining fabric. Now, I'm going to sew to the lining side my binding. And I put my 3 strips of binding all together just to make it easy. So you don't have to end it. You raw edges at the bottom is absolutely fine. Oops. Okay. Okay, I'm putting it on the one side. Going around in a circle. Ooh. Went off the reservation there a little bit. Okay, there was my join right there, so you need slightly more than 1 strip to do one side, which is why I just joined them together. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So you don't need to watch me do that. We'll be right back. Yep. Go. All right, so I have that put on both sides. Now I'm gonna go to the right side, and I'm gonna pull that all the way around. If you wanna go ahead and put clips on, you can do that. I'm using an edge stitch foot. I'm using a number 10, not an edge stitch, stitch in the ditch foot. I'm using a stitch in the ditch foot. And I need to tell my machine I have a stitch in the ditch foot on it. Because I'm an idiot. Okay, and then I'm putting my needle position 3 to the, why is it not over?
Because you have your 0 millimeter.
Oh, because of that. There we go. And I just unscrewed, no I didn't. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead.
You want me to?
You know what? I have the 0 millimeter plate on. I should actually change the plate before I change the. Yeah. Stop it.
Do you need to take one of my masteries?
Yeah, apparently. God. Yes, let's actually put that where it's supposed to go. Now, where's my. I don't know where it is, so we'll just use this. And you know what? We're gonna pause that because I'm gonna take the bobbin out and make sure the end of the needle's not in there. Okay, so I put my 9mm plate on. Hello. And my needle position is over three places. And now I'm using, if you can get it close up so you can see this, I am using my 10D foot, which is an edge stitch foot, and virtually every machine comes with an edge stitch foot, so you've most likely got one. So you see that blade right there? I'm just running it right against the edge of my binding. And then I'm stitching this binding on. You could go ahead and clip this all the way around if you wanted to with your clips, and I'm just pulling it in as I go. But you could use your binder clips or not binder clips, Wonder clips to do that with. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on both sides. And then I'll be back and I'll show you how to do the fold to put the bag together. We're almost there. And there. Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, we're going. Okay, so I did this one differently from this one. If you look, this is going to be the inside. See how clean this one looks on the inside? Then look at this one and see I've got that kind of ruffledy thing going on there. So on this one, I sewed it to the right side, flipped it, and then edge stitched it from this side. On this one, I sewed it to the wrong side, flipped it over, and still top stitched it up here. So I think this looks better myself.
Much more clean.
Yeah, it's cleaner on both sides. So anyway, choose your own way. Do what you want to do. All right, so now here comes the magic part. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to lay it with the lining facing up, down, down. You're going to lay it with the lining facing down. You're going to take hold of this. You're going to pull it down like this and just fold it right at that corner. And then you're going to come and get this corner and fold it right at that corner. And then you're going to sew a 1/2 inch seam right across. With not the edge stitch foot. Or the needle in the third position. Ay, ay, ay. You gotta watch me. Okay. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch, and I know it's a 1/2 inch because it's marked right there on my throat plate. I have it marked right there. So 5/8 is that one right there, and 1/2 is that one right there. So I'm going to go and sew this through at a 1/2. Look at this chomping through all of that. Ain't nothing like a Berlina. Okay. You can backstitch if you want, but. All right, so I have this on this side now. Now I'm gonna kind of open it up a little bit. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So I take this. Dumb butt. I take this, right side's facing up. Ay, ay, ay. Fold it in, and this, and fold it in. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna stitch that 1/4 inch, or a 1/2 inch.
I think I'm gonna like this one better than that one.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Okay, now I got a little bit of this left for my 3 strips. And if I am worried about how this looks, I can come here and just stitch that across there so I can turn in so I don't have a raw edge. can start on there. And I can cover up those raw edges. So I'll put it on the one side, flip it over, and then put it on the other side. Get in there, you little booger. Okay, so now I can just flip this over to the other side and look how my seam looks now as opposed to that side. Better, eh?
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Well, whatever. Okay. I'll do the same thing over here. That 3 strips was plenty of fabric to do all my binding. It up. Okay. Okay, so there's the bottom of my bag. This is the inside. And all I have to do is turn it inside out. Like so. And there she is. Easy peasy. So I'm going to finish this. This is open, like here. I'm going to finish that by putting 3 buttons. So I will just stitch those down on both sides, and then this is secure. And then I put my handles on. I'm using these snap-on handles. These are $36 for a pair. They're leather. They have this little lobster claw thing here. So it'll come in like that, right over my binding. And it'll come in like that, right over my binding, and then you got a strap. And that is all there is to that. Very, very simple. See you with the next one.